YouTube, NFL Week 8, let's talk about it. We had a great week this week. We had a bunch of close games. We had some high performers this week. We had some low performers this week. And we also had some close games and games that went down to the wire with the Texans and the Broncos. We had great games on Sunday afternoon with the Bills and the Chiefs. We had a back and forth matchup between Joe Burrow and Caleb Williams with the Bengals and Bears. It was a great weekend. My fantasy football team won. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about it, and we're here. First, I want to talk about my winners of the week. Josh Allen, he went crazy this week. 23 for 26, 273. I'm not just showing bias because he's on my fantasy football team, which helped towards my win. But 23, he completed 23 of his 26 passes. He had like 273 yards and a touchdown. And then he also broke the rushing touchdown record for quarterbacks. So all credits and congratulations to Josh Allen on that achievement. And look forward to see what he can do for the rest of this year. But with games like that where teams can jump, teams can drop, the Chiefs were just at number one on a lot of teams' power rankings or a lot of analysts' power rankings. And then with a loss to the Bills now, it just shows you that this playoff race right now with all the teams, all the injuries, and how everybody's going this year, it's really anybody's race. It's really anybody's race. There's not one single team that you can just say, oh yeah, they're the guys. Going back into talking about some of the underperformers, talking about teams that are those guys, the Indianapolis Colts started out this season, you thought they were, oh snap, Jonathan Taylor, he's that guy. He might be the first running back triple crown in about 50 years or so. And I'm looking at the Colts like, oh, is this a problem for my Texans in the division? Should we really put a big notice on this? And Indiana Jones didn't look like Indiana Jones. He didn't look like he was getting a sequel right there. He didn't. He was very underwhelming. And I don't know, it looked like the Steelers, they had a very good plan on what they should do for them. Like, man, people said Daniel Jones, his completion rate when his first option is open is almost like 70%. So it's like, okay, you cover his first option. What now? They didn't look nearly as dominant as they looked this entire season. Yes, Jonathan Taylor may have had a slower game than what he's used to this year, but overall, I didn't think that the Colts just looked like they should have been in that game really with the Steelers. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. All being said, it could just be some fatigue. They've been playing all their games straight. They got a bye coming up before they end up having to play the Texans a couple times. So I'm excited to see how that can look, and especially with our defense and what we've been doing to teams. So it's not a Texans video, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw in that. Next, my injury spotlight. Jayden Daniels. That was my prayers go out to him and his family, and I'm praying for a speedy recovery for him because Jayden Daniels has been one of my favorite people in the league so far. He came into the league, he's showed you that he could be a top quarterback in this league, and his elbow injury was really tough, and I think that's kind of like the seal off on this Washington Commanders season. I know that overall they've been having a kind of up and down season, haven't been putting together the wins that they did last year. Yes, of course, it's a little bit of a tougher schedule, but over and all, I think this injury, it'll be something that they can look back and be like, okay, let's just start looking at next season. Having our quarterback out for I don't know how long, but the injury didn't look too well, so seeing how that could be, we'll see how that looks for them in the future. The Denver Broncos, they're 7-2. Mind you, their 7 wins are against some questionable games. Even taking today, the Texans and the Broncos, that was they're 7-2, but they won to a team that lost their quarterback, CJ7. He out in the second quarter, and they beat us by a game-winning field goal, and we didn't score a touchdown. We have notoriously been the worst offense in the league this year. Give me Mike McDaniel. I'm going to continue to say, give me Mike McDaniel. But we've been the worst offense this year in this league, and the Broncos are just barely able to beat us. They're barely beating Cam Ward and things like that. So overall, I don't have too much hype for them going into this playoffs, but record wins is wins. You can't complain. 7-2. Let them be that. Texans, they're 3-5. It's a tough year for us. Really tough year. 3-5. If you look at how our team is playing, the offense looks horrible. We just look disgusting right now. The defense is playing lights out, and I feel like this season we're really gonna have wasted how great this defense really has been this season. And It's okay. Well, I look to next year. I'm mad that we didn't really make some moves at the trade deadline, either if that's picking up more draft capital or trying to get rid of some of these players who are on some bigger contracts to essentially get that draft capital, but also because coming up, I want to say this offseason or maybe next offseason, we got to pay CJ Stroud, we got to pay Will Anderson, and Will Anderson is looking like one of the best edge rushers in the league right now. So something's got to shake. Maybe we got something planned up in the draft. If not, Nick Casario, I'm hitting your line. Other than that, some other teams that are looking really good. The Colts are also 7-2, even with the loss this week, so they're still up there at the top of the AFC. The Patriots are also 7-2. Drake May is looking nice. He's looking nice. I'm not mad at him. So overall, the league is looking really good. The Broncos, they won. They beat us 18-15 with a last-second field goal. CJ Stroud got hurt in the second quarter. It was a good game, but overall the Texans just looked horrible. We could move the ball, but we couldn't get any yards in the end zone. We got down to the red zone 3 times, 0 touchdowns. 3 red zone trips, 0 touchdowns. And I'm gonna completely say it's the play calling. Give me Mike McDaniel. Like, we just have to. We got to the 1 yard line and we're trying to run the ball up the center with rotating guards. Who came up with this idea of let's rotate the guards? Let's not let our O-line get into sync. Let's not let them figure out what they want to do, but we're going to rotate them in and out, and then we're going to try and run behind the guys who just was sitting on the sideline or was playing on a different side of the line. Like, what are we doing? But it is what it is. A game is a game. This season, I already told y'all the Texans are. We're just trying to see what it can do. Denver having that momentum. They're sitting at the top of the AFC West right now. The Chiefs are still running up, but they lost this week against the Bills, so that'll be an interesting way to see how that plays out. And overall, it was a great week. So now I can jump into my fantasy football. As y'all see, caught a dub this week. Right back on the top of the league, because last week I know I had a bunch of guys on bye. I wasn't able to really perform like my team should, and y'all see this week I had the most points this week. I'm back at the top of the league. Most points for, most not the least amount of points against, but overall my team's killing. We're making this playoff push. Haven't made any trades. I've been looking to try and still make some trades, but right now my team is cooking. We've already got through all of our buys this year, so it's like I don't think I have to worry about any of my big players being on a bye again. And with that being said, I might stick with it. I might stick with this team. We haven't made any trades this whole season, but hey, when you're killing like this, or like I used to always say, if you're hooping like this, keep hooping. But yeah, let me know how y'all feeling about week 9. We're gonna talk about the trade deadline. That video will be coming out real soon. We got some basketball content coming out real soon. We got some college basketball content coming out real soon. So y'all be tuned. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But all right, y'all. Peace.